This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and we're going to talk a little bit about the trades in the whole. I was waiting for the deadline to come and go before I decided to get things together. Plus, I had work to take care of, so it wasn't like I could just sit here and come in the house and run off videos extra quick. But now everything's settled. Dust is calm, all that jazz. We could discuss some of these trades, and I think I'm gonna use NBA.com and go just, beat by beat what they have listed. The first thing that they have listed is the Dragic trade to Miami, which I find a little bit perplexing because he gave up quite a bit to get the Dragic brothers. Of course, Zoran came with Goran Dragic, so he's gonna have his baby brother along to ride with him. Anyway, the Heat gave up Norris Cole, Sean Williams, Danny Granger, and Justin Hamilton, as well as, I believe, 2 picks. Yeah, they're going to get a pick from 2017 and a pick from 2021. These are both first-round picks. Pretty interesting. And I like Goran Dragic. I always thought he was a decent player, but was he worth that haul? Maybe this is just the Heat dumping some salaries, perhaps. I'm not sure. Okay, I could live with the Norris Cole thing. Even though he's probably the better out of him and Chalmers, but okay, whatever. Well, he's a better scorer. I don't know if he's the better overall point guard, but he definitely is the better scorer. But Cole, that's inconsequential. All right, I got you. Sean Williams and Justin Hamilton, I got you. Danny Granger, okay, I got you. I thought that was enough. I didn't think the 2 picks would have been enough, and I honestly think that they could have just swung it with 2 of these players and a pick to get the Dragic brothers. Maybe they're dumping salaries. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they feel like they got a little too much fat to trim off, and they don't need all that. By the way, it's kind of crazy how Danny Granger his career has just gone sideways like that. He used to be an unbecoming good-looking prospect. Now this dude's just being thrown around the league like a fucking $2 whore. That's crazy. But that's that trade that happened. And of course my computer wants to act like it's extra slow today. Of course, I'm sure everybody and their mama is hitting ESPN and the NBA.com website looking at all these trades. You have the Blazers getting Afflalo, and NBA.com still acting slow, but Aaron Afflalo is going to Portland. He was traded for Thomas Robinson, who seems not to be able to stick anywhere, Will Barton, Victor Claver, and a lottery projected first round pick. So whatever the Trailblazers show back up in the lottery, boom, Denver automatically gets one. And the Nuggets sent Afflalo and Alonzo Gee to the Trailblazers. So it's kind of, decent trade. Shows up a bench a little bit, gives them a scorer off the bench. So that helps them out. Not a huge impact trade, but it's a trade that makes sense. This trade right here, to me, was probably the craziest. And that's the 76ers showing that they are dedicated to their fans to give them the worst product possible until they come across these magical players that they feel that all of this tanking is going to bring them over the next couple of years. It's the craziest fucking plan I have ever seen in my life. They really do feel like by tanking, they're going to get such great prospects, and then they're going to get enough free agents to fill out a championship team within the next 2 to 3 years. I really don't understand their logic, but there was a 3-way deal between them, the Bucks, and the Suns. Suns were pretty busy. Suns were pretty fucking busy that day, but so Brandon Knight goes to Phoenix. Michael Carter Williams, yes, you heard me, Michael Carter Williams, Miles Plumlee, and Tyler Ennis goes to Milwaukee, and Philly just gets draft picks. So they traded away the Rookie of the Year. Great point guard. He's a really good point guard. He's not the greatest scorer in the world, but hey, the guy is a good floor general. For someone that young to be that poised as a point guard, you got gold, because you don't have point guards like that in the league much anymore. Most point guards now are more scorer than distributor, or they don't run offenses as fluidly as someone as Michael Carter Williams. You're gonna trade him to get draft picks. Mind you, you just use one of those draft picks from one of your poor seasons to get this guy. And nobody expected this guy to be as good as he was, and he ended up being phenomenal. Such a phenomenal player. You gonna trade him? Really? Really? Yeah, so hey, if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan, you have to be pleased with this. You got a great point guard. Brandon Knight, he was decent, but you just elevated your game. Now you have a better distributor, someone who doesn't need to fill up the stat sheet with points to be happy. He will gladly get his 15 assists and his 8 points, and he's good. And that's what you need. Somebody who could set up your talent. And Milwaukee's building some good talent. So credit to Milwaukee. Phoenix had a pretty good day because they stacked some players too. Philly, I'm sorry if you're a fan of the 76ers. I really am. I apologize sincerely, because you have to put up with that shit for way too long now. Hopefully their plan works out and you guys can get a winner, but right now I have no fucking clue what these dudes are doing. Anyway, the team that I think came up the most, just really quick, Kevin Garnett for Thaddeus Young. That came out of the blue. I guess he figured he wanted to end his career with his, old coach, his old franchise. I guess it's a coming home moment for someone who's been in the league for 20 years. So when he's ready to retire, he can retire as a Timberwolf. Nice story right there, right off in the sunset with your old team. But team I think that really came out great was Oklahoma City. They've added some interesting pieces. They got themselves 2 shooters. They got themselves a young center who's actually having a pretty decent year this season. And they've got a solid veteran backup point guard who, can help tremendously. And they got rid of some dead weight by getting rid of Kendrick Perkins. Definitely got rid of dead weight in that contract. Right now, OKC, they ended up trading Reggie Jackson, who had been complaining. He wanted to be a starter. Well, now you can go to Detroit and you could be a starter, and hopefully they'll eventually get to where the Thunder are, and you'll be on a much more competitive team. But for right now, be careful what you wish for. You are not in the situation that you had before, just coming off the bench. But hey, you got your starting job, right? Anyway, it was a 3-team trade where the Thunder got Enes Kanter and Steve Novak from Utah. They got Kyle Singler and DJ Augustine from Detroit, and then they sent Kendrick Perkins to the Jazz, and they sent Grant Jarrett. Sorry, I said Garrett Jarrett. Grant Jarrett. Draft picks to Tibor, please. And I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And a projected first rounder, future first rounder. And a Pistons second round pick somewhere in the law. All I know is, hey, Thunder, they've got a lot. They got a lot. I know a lot of people are probably sitting there like, Enes Kanter, like, well, kid's actually having a pretty good year. He's averaging 14-8 this year in 27 minutes. Ain't bad compared to what Kendrick Perkins was doing, which was 4 points and 5.5 rebounds for $9.4 million a year, and he's been on the decline ever since y'all signed him that big contract. I take it, because I get a 22-year-old who has the potential to be a solid piece in the middle compared to a 30-year-old who's playing more like a 40-year-old center. So yeah, you definitely got better there. You got a 40% 3-point shooter in Singler, so you have someone to help spread the floor when Durant's not on the floor. And that gives you a lot of options on the perimeter if you want to. If you don't have anything working in the middle or you can't make a drive to the basket, teams got to extend their defense now and come out and check, Singler. They also got to check Novak, who's a pretty decent shooter still, even though he's been around for a bit. DJ Augustine is a solid point guard. He does very, very well coming off the bench. He did well for Chicago last year. He did well for Detroit. He's solid. He can get assists. He can shoot. He has some range, so that helps. Honestly, the Thunder really did a great job in getting a max value for what they traded. They definitely didn't max out their value. And I think they've helped themselves position themselves to make a pretty good playoff run. So hats off to Thunder. You guys did a good job. Crazy day. It was a crazy flourish, but now everything's dust settled, all that, but hey, things are looking good for OKC. Things are looking, a future might be looking a little brighter for Phoenix, because even if these players don't work out, they'll be able to, have a lot of cap room. They already were under the cap. Now they could be even more under the cap, so they can make a push for some other players. They positioned themselves well. I think those two teams in Milwaukee, OKC, and Phoenix did a pretty decent job for themselves in this final day of the trades. Also, Isaiah Thomas got traded too. I totally forgot about the Isaiah Thomas trade, because I don't think they mentioned that much. Let me see if I can find it, because I heard Isaiah Thomas got traded, but I can't remember who. You guys remember who Isaiah Thomas got traded to? Let me know, because I don't want to keep extending this to look up more information. But pretty solid trade day. Anyway, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think of the trade deadline day, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.